Now we're going to look at the lens controller for setting up the zoom, and here I've just got a thumb controller, and I've also got the ATEM's software control panel set up here. And what we do in this video is that when you first connect or hook up one of these controllers to a lens, there may be a slight creeping of the zoom, and it did giveaways if you plug it in and look at it later and see that it's right, the zoom is right up one end or the other. And this is because the 12 volts we're feeding, which comes in through this reconnector, goes out to the lens, and the lens is very dependent on how accurate that 12 volts is. Excuse me. Unfortunately, it's a bit of a primitive servo system that these Fujifilm lenses have, as well as the Canon lenses. Servos have come a long way since then. So you can see if I just use the top rocker to zoom, you see it's now zooming. And if I take my finger off the zoom, you see it's actually creeping back, and I've actually wound this up so it creeps a lot, so you can actually very obviously see that it creeps. The way we do the adjustment is that we've got to zero the mid position, or the null position as it's sometimes called. So we do that by using the setup mode, which we'll show you in a moment, and using the again the focus knob by pushing it in. Again, doing it one-handed is going to be a bit tricky, but let's see how I go. So the trick is to push the setup button, quick push once, and the blue light will come on, and then get the zoom and zoom it all the way to the opposite end of where it's sitting. So if it was zoomed in like it was, you'd zoom it out. So here it's sitting at right at the other end now. Take my finger off and you'll notice that it's now creeping back. So all you do is that you hold down the focus knob and you start winding it, turning it one way. You see it's either speeding up or slowing down. And now I'm actually overturning it and it's actually going the other way. So what this does is it creates, let's just zoom it back out, there you go, it's going back. It's creating a reverse position. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get it really close so it's not moving. And just a word of advice here, your eyes do funny tricks. If you've got something turning in front of you and then you start, and then you stop it turning, your eyes try to make it look it's going the opposite direction, whereas it's not. Now see, I've got that sitting on around about in the middle. I'm still holding down my finger on the zoom button over here while I'm turning it, sorry, the focus button. So I'm just trying to get that to be static as possible. Now you're not going to get it to be perfectly static, and I'll show you why in a moment. So you can see as I want to turn it further up, and it speeds up, and as I turn it back the other way, it slows down. So I want it to be as static as possible, and it's pretty static there. So I'm going to take my finger off the button. Oh, it's taken off with it. Just bring it back the other way. Okay, so that's pretty close, but you can see it's still moving. And so we're now going to come out of setup mode, and we're going to use a little screwdriver. This is a little screwdriver, and in the back of the box here, there's a little adjustment. And this is a nulling adjustment. So what we're going to do is engage the screwdriver, and we're going to do a very slight adjustment on here that will allow the zoom to stop completely so that it's found its mid position. I'm just roughly doing this because it's one-handed, it's a bit tricky. So you can sit it sitting there for a long time and see whether it drifts to the end, or a better way, which I can't show you here, is to actually look at the picture that's coming out of the camera, set it on a certain framing position, and then you can then see far more closer if it's drifting at all. So all you do is you just adjust this little adjustment in the back to stop any drift, and there is a bit of a excuse me, there is a bit of a stop position where you can actually it will stop because it's got a bit of a dip in the null, if that makes any sense. So I'm just turning it again here, and as you can see, as I turn it further up, it will speed up a bit more, but we just want it to sit perfectly still. So I'm going to get the zoom controller, which is the thumb controller here, and I'm just going to position it, say, on the 1 of the 1.5. We've got focus, and you let it sit there for a while. And if it's set properly, it will not drift, and you can leave that setting like that for as long as the lens is connected to the controller box. So subsequently, you can now zoom in and zoom out. And when you finish your zoom, the zoom will stop and not creep at all. And of course, you can also zoom it on the ATEM control. And see over here, I'm just using the ATEM control to zoom in and zoom out. And when I take my finger off, it will stop without drifting. And there it is. That's yet another quick video for you.